This is what I woke up to this morning. Been trying to follow it all day. And we're just going to start it right here. If the wind's too loud, let me know and I will mute myself.
Like, monitor all of this and get you guys the information when I can. It's just a little bit scattered out here right now. So thank you all for being patient, by the way.
We will be live this Friday.
You will be live?
I think we're live now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. All right. So we're out here investigating a shooting this evening that occurred at approximately 9 o'clock. There was a party at Lake Arcadia. Edmond Police, along with Oklahoma Highway Patrol and Oklahoma City Police, responded to find multiple victims. I can confirm that we have transported 10 to area metro hospitals in various conditions. I do not have an update on those conditions at this time. However, there will be more victim numbers coming in, as some did take their own personal vehicles to the hospital. We are going to be investigating throughout the evening and on into tomorrow. Anyone with information can contact the Edmond Police Department. So that's really all the information we have at this time. We will, like I said, as soon as we can update with more information, we will get that out.
So just various injuries and no fatalities?
At this time, I don't have a condition on anyone as far as fatality or not. But yes, various conditions, and we have not received an update on this at this time. I'll go ahead and take some questions.
Are there any suspects?
So we're investigating. We do not have anyone in custody at this time.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a threat to the public right now?
There's no reason to believe there's a threat to the public.
Okay. And then just what do the next hours look like for you guys here? So
our investigators are at the scene. It's very dark right now, so obviously as the sun comes up, we'll continue to investigate. They're just right now. It's just we're taking witness statements. We're kind of all over the metro speaking with victims and witnesses. So that's what we'll be doing in these next multiple hours.
Did you all get calls coming in saying there was shootings? Like, did various calls come in, or how did that?
We did. We received multiple calls on shootings, shots fired, multiple shots. So that was what led to the large the Oklahoma Highway Patrol coming, the Oklahoma City Police Department, and Edmond, as well as Edmond Fire.
So how many agencies total are here? We've seen a number of vehicles. Like, is this a multi-agency investigation, or?
It's an Edmond investigation. They were in the area, the Highway Patrol and the Oklahoma City Police, and so that's just something that they do to come in such a large event.
Can you give us an idea what kind of party this? We know graduation is happening this weekend, going into next weekend. Was it teenagers, do we know, or was it adults, college? Can you give us an idea of what kind of party it was?
I don't have any information on that. I do know it was a large group of young people having a party.
By the lake?
Yes.
Okay. When you say young people, what age range would you say about, if you had to guess?
I'd hate to guess, but not young children, young adults, or yeah. So it's a little too early. I don't want to put out information that wouldn't be correct.
Any message at all? I mean, this is just, obviously shootings can happen, but the magnitude of this, people at a party, lots of injuries. I spoke to a woman who was devastated because her cousin and her sister were shot, and she was just understandably, concerned what was going on. Any message at all for just the magnitude of what happened here?
This is obviously a very terrifying situation, and we understand the concern from the public and those involved, and we are working extremely hard to find these suspects and help these victims. Yeah, we really appreciate the public's patience with us and understanding, and we will get the information that's most important out as soon as we have it.
So what can the public do to assist you guys, with this investigation and anything like that? Is there a number they should call for tips or anything like that?
They can just call our main line at the Edmond Police Department. I'll give that to you guys off camera. But yes, if you were a witness and you did not get to speak to investigators this evening, and if you have any information to share that could be helpful.
How long is the scene going to be closed off for? I imagine several hours. Do you have like a guesstimate on when it could be open?
I do not.
Okay.
The figure that you shared, the 10 people that were transported, were they transported from here at this scene, or is that inclusive of perhaps other scenes that you mentioned that people privately drove themselves to?
We did have one victim that drove themselves to the on-queue at 15th, and so that was one of the ones that we transported.
Okay, so that was that one victim that was at the on-queue part of that 10 figure that you mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I'm assuming that next of kin have all been notified in this situation, but if there are any family members who are wondering where their family members are, I know we've had a few come through here trying to get to their friends, family, loved ones. Is there a reunification center for somebody or a point where they can meet up or where their loved ones were all taken to?
At this point, they can call our Edmond dispatch line for information. I believe that those next of kin have been notified.
There was initially some discussion about traffic cameras in the area to try and learn more information. Has that provided anything to you all?
I don't have any information on that. That'll just be part of the investigation. So I'll take one more question. I'm good. Are we good? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. We
very
really
much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. We do have breaking news coming out of Oklahoma where 12 people have been hospitalized after a mass shooting, and this happened in Edmond, Oklahoma, just outside of Oklahoma City. I want to bring you now to a live look over Oklahoma City. And again, this happened in Edmond, Oklahoma, which is just outside of Oklahoma City, as a shooting Sunday night at a party at a lake near Oklahoma City sent at least 12 people to hospitals and hospital officials. Edmond police spokesperson said authorities received reports of shots being fired at about 9 p.m. at a gathering of young people near Arcadia Lake. She said late Sunday that no arrests had yet been made. And we do have some video of that scene there where police are on scene. We want to play that out for you now just so you get a better idea of what this looked like over in Edmond, Oklahoma, as I continue to read off this AP News article here. This quote here coming from the Edmond police spokesperson, Emily Ward, saying this is obviously a very terrifying situation, and we understand the concern from the public and those involved, and we are working extremely hard to find the suspects, she said. We're kind of all over the metro speaking with victims and witnesses, Ward said. Now, the spokesperson for Edmond Police also said that 10 people were taken to hospitals and others drove themselves. She said victims were in, quote, various conditions. 9 people were at Integris Health Baptist Medical Center in Oklahoma City, and 3 were at Integris Health Edmond Hospital, according to a hospital system spokesperson. The spokesperson said the patients were all late Sunday night. Now, while police did not provide details about a flyer seen on social media after the shooting suggested that an event called Sunday Fun Day had been scheduled near the lake that Sunday evening. Now, Arcadia Lake, located about 13 miles north of Oklahoma City, is an artificial reservoir used for flood control that is also a popular recreational spot that offers fishing, boating, picnicking, and camping. It's located in Edmond, an Oklahoma City suburb with about 100,000 residents. Now, again, just bringing this breaking news here that at least 12 people hospitalized there in Edmond, Oklahoma after a mass shooting there Sunday night at a party just outside of Oklahoma City. And you can see there the massive police response that prompted there for that emergency there. Taking you back over now to a live look over Oklahoma City. Again, as we are hearing the latest here, courtesy of AP News, Edmond Police spokesperson Emily Ward said authorities received reports of shots being fired at about 9 p.m. at a gathering of young people near Arcadia Lake. She said that a late Sunday that no arrests have been made.
There is a platform where you can search billions of historical records, uncovering hidden stories of your ancestors.
You start by entering a name, and the platform scans newspapers, birth notices, military documents, obituaries, everything.
I found this newspaper from 1898, reporting on a daring rescue my great-grandmother performed during a flood. She saved lives, and nobody in my family ever talked about it. You can explore African-American newspapers from 1827 onwards. See military records, obituaries, slave records. It's all there.
I had been searching on other websites, but I couldn't find the stories or the records I was really looking for. Luckily, a friend told me about Genealogy Bank, and when I tried it, I was able to confirm that I actually have Native American relatives. So I traced my family back to the Cherokee Nation. I found birth notices, tribal newspaper articles. First of all, it completely changed the way I see myself. It also pushed me to learn more about a culture I didn't really know before, and in a way, to feel proud of it. I can't wait to share this with my parents and my daughter.
You think you know a lot about your family, but in reality, you have no idea. And trust me, you're
Not ignoring anyone. I just am kind of busy trying to do some stuff. At that point in time, let's see here. What time was that one? If I can get my laptop, be nice. Don't freeze up now. Okay. I didn't tell it to do anything. It needs to stop. No. And so at that point, there was only 12. I know that I've seen some counts all 15. This one 2 hours ago says there was 23 hurt. OMG, my internet's being slow today.
Nearly 24 people hurt in a mass shooting at Arcadia Lake in Edmond. The investigation is very much still underway this morning, but police have said there is no active threat to the public at this time. Our team coverage continues. KOCO Shanice Hopkins has been at Integris Health, where some of the victims went after the shooting. But first, let's go to Megan Mosley. KOCO's Megan Mosley. Megan, you're there on that west side of the lake where police are investigating closely this morning, and we just got some of that new information.
Yeah, Cameron, we just learned from Edmond Police a little bit around 30 minutes ago that this was actually an unsanctioned event last night here at Arcadia Lake, meaning that the folks who were out here at the time of the shooting were not supposed to be out here. They didn't have permission. They didn't have a permit. Now, Edmond Police did say that this event was circulating online on social media, but it was not permitted or reserved to be on this campus. Now, we now know that 23 people have been injured in this shooting. Police say that the severity of their injuries range, but they couldn't say if any of them were fatal or how many were even gunshot wounds. Now, I asked police specifically if anyone has died from last night's shooting. They told us they cannot confirm that information. Now, we now know that several people were rushed to the hospital, but many transported themselves. Edmond Police tells us there is no threat to the public, but they are actively working the case and they can't release any suspect information at this time, but they are urging anybody who was out here at the time to contact their office immediately. But of course, KOCO has been speaking with witnesses on and off from last night who described the terrifying moments.
I'm 54 years old, but I've never had to with any of this, and to know that so many young people have to, it's mortifying.
Now, when that press release was sent out, I asked Edmond Police if anybody was in custody or even being questioned at all from this shooting. They told me that they cannot release that information at this time. Reporting live at Arcadia Lake, Megan Mosley, KOCO 5 News.
Megan, very close to the scene there. We appreciate that. Our team coverage continues this morning. KOCO Shanice Hopkins has been at Integris Health there in Edmond, very close by, where some of the victims of the shooting were taken moments after shots rang out there last night. She heard from some of the witnesses who were there when the gunshots went off.
Last night, we were there as witnesses poured out of that scene. Many families told to go to the Walmart on 15th and I-35 to reunite with their family and loved ones. We spoke with several who were there when shots were fired. They tell us the party was a great time until they heard an argument. The argument leading to a fight, later gunfire. Witnesses say it was very scary as many were injured trying to get to safety.
Point, like there's no point. Anyone who was hit, I just want to send my prayers and say that I'm sorry for the inconvenience that is unnecessary.
More importantly, they were just grateful they were able to make it there safely and find their friends also safe. And this morning, the investigation continues. We're still working to find any new details that they may find. Reporting in Edmond, Shanice Hopkins.
So the shooting happened around 9 o'clock last night. We can map out some of the key points of interest for you. The shooting happened at the lake close to Scissortail Campground on the southwest side of the lake. Also, we know some of the victims where Shanice was at Integris Health there in Edmond. Other victims went to Integris Baptist in Oklahoma City. And the reunification center was set up there at that Walmart on 15th and I-35. A dramatic scene there at that Walmart. Just in at 11, we have a statement from Edmond's mayor, Mark Nash, responding to the shooting. He calls it a tragedy and says Edmond remains a safe, vibrant place to live, work, and raise a family. He says the city is now reviewing that park's operations and the security measures in the wake of the shooting. We heard from Megan that the group of people who threw that party were not supposed to be there late last night. Of course, we'll be following this story throughout the day here on KOCO 5 News. No information released yet about a suspect. Still working to get updates on the condition of those victims. You saw Megan was at the scene. Our team will keep covering this story throughout the day here on KOCO 5.
You, Chris, I really do hope they figure it out and find them. I didn't mean to misspell your name. Hey, Auntie Sherry. How are you, ma'am? Give me a second. I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, see what else I can find. I watched something earlier. Let's see if I can get it to pull up. Well, it just kicked me. Give me a second, y'all. YouTube decided didn't want to do that. And I don't know, my laptop might be getting a little hot. Auntie, why aren't you over there with your friend Brooks? Oh, that's so funny. I'm going to keep my comments to myself. Hey, Raging, go over and look at what Brooks has got going on. Where is it? I just watched it too long ago. I want videos, not shorts. So I found this guy. Small. Let me go ahead and add it to here. Warning, there is some triggering wording in this.
Describe it, and it's built in minutes. It's kind of wild how far a short prompt can get you. Right away, it generates a full site. Pages.
Man, it's dumb, and you should not even be pushing that.
Okay. Like I said, there's some very, very harsh words in this. I'm glad.
What if you could make a song using only your voice?
Saying it.
Let's start with the drums.
That's where I'm going to leave it.
Jason Whitlock, your host. I still got my. Were you guys watching over Fearless? I had my Django Unchained get up on. I still got my black Django scarf on. Let me take this off. For those of you that that only listen to the show, you missed my whole get up today as I pretended to be Jamie Foxx, and I think I had a lot of people fooled because my DM is loaded with women saying, man, I never knew you look like Jamie. Anyway, let me quit joking. We're here on the Harmony Channel. We're here to talk about something serious. Shamika, Michelle, Dre Baldwin are going to join me. I want to talk about some events that happened in Edmond, Oklahoma this weekend or yesterday. They had a Sunday Fun Day. Do we have that poster up? The poster of the Sunday Fun Day. And you see people smoking weed there. And this is at Arcadia Lake that Luke has assured me is one of the most suburban places in all of Oklahoma. It's kind of a rich suburb. Well, it was invaded by the fatherless black kids that seem to be everywhere in America. And they were having their Sunday Fun Day. And as soon as anybody should have saw that flyer with two of these guys or two of these girls or a guy and a girl. Everybody's smoking weed, and it looks like rap music's going to be played. Everybody should have been like, oh, this will not be a fun day. This will be a day that will end in violence. And it did. About a dozen people rushed to the hospital, shots fired, people hurt, injured. And at some point, we have to acknowledge and admit that anytime there are large groups of young black people, and by young, that may stretch all the way up to age 40 and under, that there's going to be violence. And you should just go the other direction. And that's a very uncomfortable thing to say. But this is the price of a matriarchal, fatherless culture. This type of chaos and violence. And no one's surprised. Oh, large gathering of young black people, they're going to be playing the rap music. Violence at some point, someone's going to get shot and hurt. Yeah, this is a video, I think, of before. This is the Sunday Fun Day, and you got women bent over, twerking and getting slapped on the rear end. Looks like the rap music's blaring. Oh, what a shock. Violence, gunplay. Next thing you know, cops, paramedics, everybody's being rushed in. This is a pattern. And I sit around and think about that we went through this era from, 2012 or 13 to about 2020 to 2022-ish around. We went through like a decade where once every 3 months, they would find video of a cop shooting an unarmed black man in some sort of questionable fashion. This would happen once every 3 months or so. And all of the news media would be dominated. And there would be riots, and there would be protest, and there was outrage about, oh, what the cops are doing.
Available now, Seedance 2.0. Push your videos further than ever. Native audio, consistent characters, multi-shot in one generation, and more. Seedance 2.0, available now in Studio AI.
You should switch to contacts because
it's super easy.
so cheap.
I save shipping costs. I save doctor office visit fees.
It was cheaper on contacts than actually going to the eye doctor.
1-800-CONTACTS always has my exact same brand in stock.
And then they deliver it right to your door.
Why would you not have your contacts delivered?
It's the future. It's
Hey, Paula, how are you, hon?
And we go from that happening once every 3 months to sparking all kinds of
Hun, how have you been?
conversations and protests and riots and, concern to once every 2 or 3 days. There's some sort of black fatigue video. There's some sort of black people are gathered here and gun violence happened. Young people shot each other. And we see these videos constantly. And there's no national conversation. There's no outrage. There's no violence in the streets. There's no protest. There's no nothing. It blows my mind. And at some point, it just feels like this has to be discussed. And so we will discuss it here on this show. And we've been doing it consistently. If no one else wants to talk about it, we will. I know I will get beat up for doing this over social media. And how come you won't talk about mass school shootings? What do they happen twice, 3 times a year? And again, not to minimize it, but every other day or every 3 days, we see one of these videos, or maybe once a week. Let's be concerned. Once a week, we see one of these videos. Every weekend in Chicago, I can't ignore it, and I can't false equivalence it and say, well, it's just the same as mass school shootings, and you won't talk about that. I get the false equivalence, but I'm just not going to play into it. I'm not going, well, what about white people? Shamika Michelle, Dre, welcome into the conversation. When black fatigue hits Edmond, Oklahoma, it's like, holy cow. Next thing you know, it'll be Idaho or Montana. Shamika, I'm going to juxtapose this versus some Chud the Builder, but I want to wait for a second before I get there. Your thoughts on what happened in Edmonton, Oklahoma?
This is happening across the country. We're having all of these team meetups. They're also doing this NBA Young Boy, his movie premiere. And these groups of teenagers are coming together across the country and just wreaking havoc everywhere. And I do believe that it is because we have a fatherless problem. We have kids who are fatherless and just mad. They don't have the fathers in the home to teach them risk assessment, behavior management.
Y'all, this is not coming from me. This is coming from them. This is their feelings about what happened last night. Keep that in mind.
They don't have any conflict resolution skills. And so they go out and they just act like a bunch of untamed gorillas anytime they come together because no one is in the home training them on how they're supposed to act. The Bible says train a child in the way that they should go. Well, if no one is doing that, then the streets are going to train them. Society is going to train them. And this is what we see when you see a bunch of females bent over. This is orangutan behavior. This is mutt behavior. Menacing, unruly, thuggish, and thottish. And this is where we are right now. And anytime you speak against the culture, you're told you're wrong. You're ridiculed for even saying something, not having the what about Brett Favre mentality and bringing white people into the equation. I'm so sick of it because at this point, I'm suffering secondhand embarrassment just watching it. Although my children aren't out there, but it represents so many black people that if we don't speak up and say something, then I don't know what else to do. We have to cry loud and spare not.
Dre, I keep bringing this topic up, and what are the solutions? What can we do to? Because I sit there and say, should we restrict the mobility of kids from single parent families?
Just a second, y'all. I have one on this one. Okay, never mind.
Families should what are the solutions? I think of crazy solutions, but what are the solutions?
Well, that will violate the Constitution. We can't do that. But Jason, one thing we know is that culture travels with people. So when I heard about this story, the first thing I did was I just went and looked into it to see what I could find. And the most I could find was the same clip that you showed. So we don't know yet as of now, I'm assuming, what caused this or who was the shooter or what the argument was over. But that Instagram post that showed the party, that's marketing, and marketing is a signal. And in your marketing, you signal who is the customer that we're trying to attract with what we do show. And if that's the only thing that was inviting people to the party, then they're asking for a certain demographic of people to show up to that party. And we all know if this is the audience that you're attracting, then certain people are going to show up for that. And there are certain other people, even black people, who will look at that and say, that's not the kind of party I want to go to. Like, I'm a person who I listen to rap music all day, every day. I don't go to rap concerts. I don't go to rap concerts because when people get around that environment and that energy, they start to behave like the rappers. And the rappers that I like listening to, I don't want to be around a bunch of people trying to emulate those people because that causes problems. And I don't want to have to deal with problems. This image is showing, okay, there's a certain type of aura that we are going to have at this Arcadia Lake. I would not want to be at this party, but if I was 16, 17, if I had enough of my YN male friends with me, hey, I might go to this party too, Jason, because there are going to be girls there. I mean, parties mean not just boys, but girls. And 16, 17 years old, I might end up at this party, depending on who I know, depending on how comfortable I feel in this environment. That could happen. To answer your question, what do we do about this? Well, it comes back to, as I said, culture, because culture travels with the people. It doesn't matter where they go. The same issue has been happening in South Beach with spring break and all different places that people can travel to. It starts in the home. Now, we can't send these kids back to the womb, back to when they were 2 years old. Right now, the people who don't want to be around this type of energy, you have to just look up what South Beach has done for the last 10 years when it comes to spring break. They have effectively neutralized spring break and effectively kept young black people who are not from Miami out of this town in the month of March. And they have come up with a plan, and they went through all the proper channels to do it, to keep those people out of there. That's really what you have to do if you want to stay away from these people, or you have to arm and protect yourself to be ready to deal with them just in case they come around.
I had been searching on other websites, but I couldn't find the stories or the records I was really looking for. Luckily, a friend told me about genealogy.
Dre, you brought up rap music, and that is part of what I wanted to go and cover in terms of, like, hey, how about we acknowledge that rap music produces a rancid, ratchet, ghetto, violent culture. Because you look at the poster, which is a problematic, it is a red flag, but what it indicates to me is like, oh, they're going to be playing rap music. And rap music, when people ingest that, and that's the music they heard in the womb when their mother was carrying them, and it's the music, it's like the background music to their whole life. I think the music and turns people hypersexualized, and that's why you see so many young girls, maybe they're strippers, maybe they're not, but they all can't wait to put their butts out and twerk in front of people and have people act like they're in a strip club. I say the music is part of what has turned the culture so violent, so rancid, so despicable. You say?
Several different elements to it. So one, it's the fatherless homes is one part of that, because Jason, I'm at the school at Penn State, and that's what you just described. There are white people who fit that same description if they don't have the proper guidance at home. And it is with black people as well. Now, at the same time, Jason, I'll say I had two parents at home. My dad listened to rap music. That's how I got into it so early. But at the same time, I had two parents at home. So just even though I listened to the music, I did not try to become the music. I can listen to it and separate the message from the instruction. Those are two different things. Now, if you're listening to it and you have no male instruction, and this is the successful man that you see in your life, and then you have your mom at home, then you may go out and emulate that because this guy is winning. He has success. You get on your phone. He has a bunch of followers. That is usually what a lot of people equate to being successful, because you're visible. So the men go follow that. The women go follow Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. What are they rapping about? So again, it comes back to the home. Is there an influence stronger than what's on the screen for these young people coming up? If there is, then they can still listen to it and not become it. My kid listens to it because I listen to it. So he's not going to become it because he has me and he has mom. But if a kid doesn't have both of those and they're not strong influences, then the next best thing becomes the influence.
I'm gonna let Shamika jump in, but I do want to say I think you're playing with fire. And I'm someone that listened to a lot of rap music. I wrote about rap music. I wrote about it for Vibe. I wrote about it for the Kansas City Star. I wrote about it for the Charlotte Observer. Throughout my career, I was someone that wrote about rap music and knew it intimately. At Ball State, I was the guy that other than the guys that were DJs, I had one of the deepest rap libraries because I was really into rap music. But I think it's playing with fire, ingesting that much negativity into yourself, into your kids, and into your environment. And I think many of us got lucky that we didn't get caught up in it, more so than, hey, having a mom and dad makes me bulletproof from it. Shamika, you say what?
You know, in addition to the parenting, as Dre was saying, I think we also have to remember that faith cometh by hearing. And I think the difference with some of us is that we heard multiple types of music. We had R&B that we listened to. We were in church. We had gospel. A lot of these kids are just ingesting this, and that's all. They're hearing this from, as you said, in the womb every single day. So faith cometh by hearing. They aren't in church. They aren't listening to also Whitney Houston and Anita Baker and any other thing. Michael Jackson. This is all they're hearing day in and day out, talking about twerking or talking about shooting and killing someone. That's all they have. So, of course, this is kind of molding them a lot more than it maybe molded us, because we had other things that we were actually hearing on a day-to-day basis. A lot of these kids aren't hearing any other thing.
Dre, I'll give you the example from my childhood. This guy is dead, but I grew up with him. A guy named Brian Boykins. Came from a two-parent family, nice home. I think his dad was into insurance, and I think his mom may have been a homemaker, because the reason why I say that, it's a terrible story. But in 8th grade, I remember Brian Boykins was an annoyance for me and a lot of people. And I once hopped on his school bus and sat next to him and said, when we get off this bus, I'm going to kick your butt. And I did. And his mom ran out of the house at like 3 in the afternoon. So I'm thinking his mom was a homemaker. Get off my boy, bro. But this is 8th grade Whitlock. But anyway, Boykins comes from a very good family. As an adult or as a teenager, he transferred his persona into a rapper. He called himself Breon and was a pretty successful rapper in Indianapolis locally. And I can say all this stuff because he's dead, and I'm not trying to speak ill of dead. I'm just trying to speak factually. He got involved in all kinds of criminality and tried to cast himself as a rapper and way out over his skis. And just I've seen rap and that culture, and particularly now. So Brian's my age. But particularly with this age where Shamika's talking about they're not exposed to other kinds of music, because even in R&B music, it's all laced with rap music. And now the R&B singers now sing like rappers. And what I mean by that is like they don't talk about making love. They talk about effing. They talk about, they sing like rappers who are now R&B singers. And so that this style and form of music is everywhere. And I think, again, I want you to respond to my contention like, Dre, I think you're playing with fire with your son, and you'd be better off keeping that music away from him.
You're right. I agree. And I am playing with fire. I still listen to the music because it's not on me, it's in me. I've been listening to it for a long time. And he still gets
not
other
longer than
influences.
me, but go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, he gets other influences. He listens to other things besides that. But when he's in the car with me, it is often rap music. He knows the song People in Paris. He asked for it. He asked me, Dad, what's the name of this song? And I had to tell him it's called People in Paris. I couldn't tell him the real name of the song. But the whole point is, you're right that I am playing with fire a bit because he's picking up the words. He has learned the N word. He doesn't know that it's bad, but he says it. Has said it more than once, and we laugh because he doesn't know and he can't quite understand what he's saying, and there's no point in trying to explain it to him yet. So I already have proof that I'm playing with fire, so you don't even have to tell me. I agree with you.
Shamika, before I move on to Chud, you got a final thought?
No.
If you need something to live in this summer, I quite literally have you covered with every color of the rainbow in this dress. My tried and true.
I need those dresses.
No, I was just trying to figure out what is People in Paris. It just took me back to Naughty by Nature. Is it like five little letters that we're missing
about
here?
Shamika. Here's the funny thing about Shamika you may not know. Shamika was off in the church world so deep for a time that some things she's oblivious to. It's N-word in Paris, and it's a Jay-Z song with Kanye, correct? It was my memory served.
Yeah, the album they did together, yes.
Yeah, the album they did together. Let me move on to the other part of this conversation I wanted to have. This Chud the Builder. I talked about him last week, a guy that, do we have a picture of Chud that we talked about that runs around Nashville on weekends and puts together streaming content of him talking to black people crazy, calling them the N-word. He does it to trigger them. Some get triggered, some don't. He's building a brand for himself. And so now people are coming out and saying, like, I think the guy calls himself Queen's Flip, and he's on the Joe Budden podcast, and he's saying he's planning on going to Nashville to talk to Chud the Builder. I have some questions. I make the point of like, oh man, we'll travel across country or travel down south to confront Chud the Builder, but gangbangers will terrorize a black neighborhood and everyone stays in the house, stays on the porch. No one wants to question anything. And that's what, like, I don't hear it. You won't read any tweets say, hey man, I'm going to Edmond, Oklahoma to find out what happened and why everybody got shot up and why black kids can't party. But they'll come down to Nashville to confront Chud the Builder. I want to play you. There's a rapper Waka Flocka, or what is it? Waka Flocka, Waka Flocka, whatever. He's chasing clout with Chud. He wants to come and confront Chud. Let's play side 8.
Big game, right? It's a little dude that I seen, a white kid right around asking black people how they chimping and shit like that, calling them niggas and all that. Hey, bro, that shit lame as fuck. Let me tell you why it's lame. First and foremost, you run around blicked up, calling people. So if they put their hands on you or shoot them, you going to jail because they ain't even use a weapon. You dumb. Number two, bro, why you antagonizing people to crash out? Number three, bro, you creating a race riot. A race riot, bro, that America don't even need right now. And if you want to die, bro, just pull up in the trenches and do that shit. But, bro, don't make the whole world, don't make the whole America, the white and black kids of America fight each other for some past shit that you don't even know if you even got racist motherfuckers in your family. You don't even know these folks. Like, why the fuck do you think that shit
Chud responded. Let's play that clip.
Waka Flocka made a post about me today. I guess white people aren't allowed to go hard in the paint. They are assembling the horde against me, bro. They've been doing that.
Shamika, your reaction to this back and forth?
First of all, Chud, the builder, whoever, I wonder, did he always wear his mustache like that, or is that like part of the gimmick?
I think it's part of the gimmick. Let me answer that question, though, because there are some pictures, some highly questionable pictures of Chud that are floating around. Like, he used to be more overweight, or he's not overweight now, but there used to be like overweight pictures of him. And there's some, I don't know if it's accurate or not, or there's some zesty pictures. I don't know if they've been doctored or whatever, but he's created a different persona for himself, and I think the mustache is part of the gimmick. All right, Shamika, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, because that's hilarious to me. And I think it is silly, as you stated, that somebody will hop on a plane and go to Nashville when they could just say something about what's going on in their own city. Waka Flocka, who lives in Atlanta, has plenty that he can do in Atlanta with black. To say, yes, it's going to cause me to chimp out or crash out. It's just, and it goes back to us not having resolution skills and suffering from arrested development. Somebody saying a word to you should not hurt you. We used to have the saying when we were coming up, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Now we have people justifying crashing out, being a crash out dummy because of a word. And I just think it's really silly, and it shows that we are not evolving. We are going backwards, and I don't care how well you can articulate that someone shouldn't be saying this and you bring racism into it. The ultimate goal is silliness if you hop on a plane to confront this man. It's dumb, and you should not even be pushing that message that it's okay to put hands on somebody because of words.
Okay, we're going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not because of how windy it is here.
In the quiet of an early morning, life was moving slow and kind. Then a heartbreak cut right through, left a shadow on our minds. But this town's built out of courage, and the love we hold runs deep. We gather close around each other, every name we vow to keep. Oklahoma lights still shine, even through the darkest time. Hand in hand we rise again, holding on to love and friends. We won't let the story end in fear. We carry every heart still here. There are candles on the sidewalks, there are prayers in every home, and the ones we lost we honor. No one walks this road alone. We lift their families on our shoulders, we speak their names with gentle grace, 'cause healing starts with standing side by side in the same place. Oklahoma lights still shine, even through the darkest time. Hand in hand we rise again, holding on to love and friends. We won't let the story end in fear. We carry every heart still here. And when the night feels heavy and the world feels far from right, we'll be the strength for one another. We'll be the ones who hold the light. Oklahoma lights still shine, even through the darkest time.
After the train passes, I'll read over this real quick, guys. Where'd it go? Seriously. Wait for rules. Where did it go? So what we have right now is authorities say at least 23 were injured. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a minute here. Edmond, Oklahoma, authorities say at least 23 people were injured when a fight at a party turned into a mass shooting Sunday night at Arcadia Lake in Edmond. Below is what we know about the mass shooting event. What we know. The shooting happened around 9 p.m. Sunday during a party at Arcadia Lake in Edmond, Oklahoma. 23 people were injured and taken to Metro Hospital. Integris Health officials said there are treating 13 patients at two of their hospitals. 3 remain in critical condition. Others were seriously injured. The conditions of the victims taken to the hospital are unknown. No arrests have been made, and information about where was that? The conditions of the victims taken to the hospital are unknown. No arrests have been made. No information about those individuals has been released. Anyone with any information about the case is asked to call Edmond Police Department at 405-359-4438. How many people were injured? Monday morning at least 23 people were injured during the mass shooting, with injuries vary and include gunshot wounds. Integris Health officials told KOCO 5 that they have 13 patients that have been massively shot, 10 taken to Integris Hospital. And let's train past just a second. Integris Health officials told KOCO 13 patients from the mass shooting. 10 were taken to Integris Baptist in Oklahoma City, and 3 were taken to Integris Health in Edmond. According to Integris, 3 of the 10 people were taken to the Oklahoma City Hospital, were treated and released. Their ages range from 16 to 30. 3 victims are in critical condition, and 4 others are in serious condition. At least 10 people were taken to other hospitals in Oklahoma City metro area. Their conditions are unknown. Information about the victims has not been released. Edmond Public Schools and Oklahoma City Public Schools officers said they did not have any reports of any students being injured. Shots broke out during the party. At 9 p.m., Edmond Police Department responded to a shooting at Arcadia Lake near the Sizzle Campground, which is near 15th Street and Air Depot Boulevard. Where the officials arrived, they found at least 23 of the injuries ranged in severity, including some gunshot wounds. Police did not say if all 23 were gunshots or if there were other injuries in other ways after the gunshots rang out. Police said in a news release that the shooting happened during an unsanctioned party that being after dark and was advertised across multiple social platforms. The party drew a large crowd of young adults from across the metro, according to the police department. Edmonds Police Department added that the party was not permitted or a reserved gathering. Witnesses told KOCO that a fight broke out at the party before the shooting, but police have not confirmed these details. Edmond Police Department is asking for any information to please call them once again, 405-359-4438. No suspects in custody as of Monday morning, police said. There were no suspects in custody. Information about possible suspects has not been released. Police said there was no known threat to the public. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not if I play it, but I'm going to try playing this real quick. And then I guess I might have to share it. Just a second, guys.
We're out here investigating a shooting this evening that occurred at approximately 9 o'clock. There's a party at Lake Arcadia. Edmond Police, along with Oklahoma.
Give me a moment, y'all. I'll get it pulled back up. Okay, you guys can see there. Okay. So I was trying to make double sure of. Stop acting stupid. I don't know anyway. Make it bigger. Scroll. We've already heard most of this. I'm trying to get down to something. This right here. That's what I was trying to get to.
We have a statement from Edmond's mayor, Mark Nash, responding to the shooting. He calls it a tragedy and says Edmond remains a safe, vibrant place to live, work, and raise a family. He says the city is now reviewing that park's operations and the security measures in the word from Megan that the group of people who threw that party were not supposed to be there late last night.
So that's all I have for you guys at this point in time on the shooting. If there is a press conference, I will come back live. Catch you all later. Bye.